Morning, gang. Are we up and running? Mic on. I should check these things before pushing, clicking that button. Yes. T minus something. Camera, again, it's the left-hand side. At this time of day, at this season, there's no way I can point the camera on the other direction on a sunny day. The sun shines right directly into the lens. If you remind me about it, maybe after 45 minutes or so, somewhere around halfway through the stream, I could go out there for a minute and then I can turn the camera the other way, because by then the sun will have gone. So if anybody thinks it's interesting to do that, just let me know. It's pretty quiet out there. Not as quiet as it should be, but pretty quiet. Okay, where are we? I know the carving that we were doing last week on this here is now finished. That set of blocks is totally finished now. I finished off the last couple of kanji characters that I couldn't figure out, and the blocks are now waiting for test proofing. As we've mentioned before though, excuse me. As we mentioned before though, not her. She passes by normally about 7:58 these days, but I didn't hear her go by. Maybe she's off from home or closed or something. Where was I? Oh yeah. The test proofing in the octopus. You know, we talked about it before. That will not be happening on these streams. You know, I talked directly to the Twitch staff people about that. It's over a year ago. They don't want that as part of a broadcast, obviously, of course. So the octopus will be happening in the back room, upstairs later this week. The carving will be continuing. What have we got today? Etone. Carving will be continuing. The cat blocks, get the show and tell out of the way there. The cat blocks, the carving is continuing. I did that on the stream the other day, the grey block, but the next part of this now is hammering. And as you know, I'm trying to avoid doing too much hammering on the stream here, so I'm not going to sit here banging for half an hour on this one. So that can sit aside for a few minutes. Maybe what I'll do is I'll do the banging off stream, and then next stream we'll have some clearing out to get that right. But I do have quiet work to do. This is planning. I say planning, but planning the future for us. You know, we've got the Ome building, the Asakusa building, or Plan B. The Ome building, Asakusa is gone. We have a shipping center. Plan C, the Ome building, the new shipping center, the Asakusa place in storage. Lots of ways. We don't know what's happening. There's no way tourism is coming back this side of a year. There's no way. And to pay the rent for this place for a full year without a shop is impossible. So we're trying to figure out what to do. Okay, Senshafta, it's Patreon Chibi's time. It's Patreon Chibi time. Now, John Amos, who has done the Patreon Chibi designs for us for the past few years, is, as we speak, he's doing the next designs for the next one. I talked to him about a month or so ago about this, and I waited too long. The Patreon Chibis, the first group each year needs to be shipped in May, which is like tomorrow. And I didn't remember about this till the shipping staff reminded me, Dave, how are they coming along? Are they ready for wrapping? And I hadn't even talked to John yet about it. So I did a few weeks ago, I asked John, can you give me some designs? And he said, sure, but he's in the middle of transitioning to an online system. Their college is closed for printmaking, and they're trying to teach printmaking online. So he's kind of busy right now. So he's done some sketches for me, but he doesn't have the final line work. But I can't wait. We got to ship these things in May. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to get a head start today. Shot me in the gouge says I can't do that because the stone hasn't arrived yet. Aoyama-san's bringing the stone this morning. So remind me about that on the next stream. John's binding his books. Yes, actually that too. He said the other day in an email back and forth, he said the book binding at the moment is just put on a shelf. He has to do his job. He has to get these classes organized. So what I'm going to do is this. I have a leftover unused transfer sheet from the first pair of Patreon Chibis we did. 2017, 2017. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste this down onto the wood. And of course I'm not going to carve the same designs, but I can get started by carving the border lines. And then when John comes in with the design in a few minutes, Is he listening? I don't know. Then I will paste that on top and we'll carve that. So let's put this away for a minute, get this ready. The wood, we'll talk about that in a minute, what the wood is. Let me get this ready for, let me get this trimmed ready. Yeah, the wave, again, we are printing the wave. As we speak right now, on our young printer, Hiramoto-san, he is doing another batch of 60. We're pushing it as hard as we can. The only way to get them out faster would be to use more than one printer working in rotation. But that would really, really stress the blocks. My God, that would stress the blocks. And then even if we had prints, we've still got this huge problem coming up now of shipping. We've got this huge problem of shipping. Country after country is going down. Anyway, not to complain, not to complain. As I said, we're thinking about what to do with our Asakusa shop and the business. It's not a tragedy. We're alive, you know. There's people all over the world in a much, much worse situation than what we are. Our business is clearly going to change over the next couple of years, that's all. If it turns out that Asakusa becomes history, that's okay. We just move on and do something else. You know, I've done this a million times before, you know. Not a million, but a lot. This piece of wood, it's got a history. It's marked here. Aoyama-san has his own little numbering system here. It's got 1989, 12, H, Y, A. I don't know what all those things mean. But the piece of wood on this side, this is a piece of cherry wood that we sourced ourselves. It says 2019-07, July 2019, IS, Iseto-san. That's the dealer he got the piece of wood from, and it's Group A. So this piece of wood, we must have bought a chunk of a tree in 2019, seasoned it for a couple of years, or not a couple of years, obviously for a while. It must have been a pretty thin piece. And here we are coming in. But this piece, it's marked 1989. Were we buying cherry trees in 1989? No, we were not. But as you know, people have been watching this from a while ago. We took some blocks from my poet series. We didn't destroy them. I went out to Ome and I found 3 of the key blocks there that were fairly thick, fairly dense, and that hadn't been used on the back side. And it turned out that, well, we're not just using the back side. What we did was we sliced those blocks into 1, 2, 3 pieces. Took the carved poet's piece, put it on plywood, put it back in Ome and saved it for some future time when those may be printed again. And the other 2 pieces of wood, we used them. This is 1/4. 1, 2, 3, 4 makes a full larger piece. So this is 1/4 of one of the faces of one of the poets, which dated from 1989. And it actually isn't all that hard. It's not like rock hard, but it's way, way, way better than what we are able to prepare ourselves. Yeah, Ireland is one of the closed countries for us too. We've got a couple of people in Ireland who have ordered prints, and we're just going to have to hold them for a while. So. Oh, this is getting empty, I'm going to need some more soon. So what kind of peel are we going to have today? This Gumby paper, this was prepared years ago. This is about 3 years old, so I've got no idea what kind of Gumby it is. Let's have a look and see. Bit of water here, not too much. Very thin white glue. How many times have I done this in my life? No idea. No idea. It would be fun one day to count up how many prints I've made, Well, in recent years it's a bit more difficult to count because there's lots of cooperative work going on. You share the work with somebody else. Okay, step one, peel back the backing sheet. We've got an incipient peel here, so we'll just start from where this is. So we'll just pull it around from where it is. Put your scorecards away. differently than that newer gumpy we have that comes off clearly in a big stream. Look at this. It's very fragmented, this one. If it was 10 out of 10 every time, there'd be no interest to show it. Actually, this is more like what I remember, actually. All the years I was doing the Poets series, stuff like that. This is a typical one, bit by bit. Patchy, 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 off it comes here and there. This is what I remember from most of my printmaking. This thing recently where we sort of try and do it as a dramatic one-off, isn't actually all that common for me. And part of it, I think, is in recent times we've been using much thicker gumpy. I didn't think about it, but maybe that's just the way they're making it these days, thicker and denser, I don't know. This is the way I remember most of the gumpy work that I've done. You peel it off, peel it off, peel it off. It's still a bit cloudy. And the thing about there's a downside, that thing we do with those big peels, when we peel it all off straight away and leave it really thin, if it's a lot of work that's going to take place over 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, your hand rubs on the back of it and tends to abrade it a little bit. So it's not actually all that much of a great idea to pull the whole thing off all at once, down to a thin area like this. So leaving it like this, then as you're carving bit by bit, as you get to one specific area, you then use your finger and pull it off bit by bit. At least that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Have I had any of that cheddar cheese? Half of the first chunk is gone. It's gone. I've reordered already. That's what you get by having 30 years of no deliveries of cheddar cheese. It's okay stuff. It's not great. It's an Australian piece of white cheddar, and the red one is American, but I'm just happy to get it. Very, very nice. Happy to get it. I should have opened it on stream. Yeah, I should have. I should have opened it. How's the virus over there? The situation is crazy, crazy. For any normal person, we are waiting for the government to step in and close the place. The national government, Abiy, he just seems to be frozen. There's nothing, he's not saying anything, he's hiding in his room, got no idea what's going on. Every now and then, like the health minister has a press conference, they jam 200 people into a tiny little conference room. Japan does some things well and some things they don't do well. And making sharp, short decisions by individual people is not what happens in Japan. It's consensus. I'm sure they're having their cabinet meeting. Someone speaks up and says, looking at New York, it's perhaps time we, ask people to stay home. And some dude in the back row says, it's okay, not ready, it's just a flu, And because it's consensus, nothing happens until basically everybody says, okay, we got it, we got this, we got it, okay, good, okay, let's do this thing. Instead of somebody standing up and saying, Koike-san, the governor of Tokyo, is trying to do this, but she has no legal authority to do so. So she's been holding press conference saying, people, look, please, I want you to stay home. But there's nothing behind it until the national government puts in their, whatever it is, emergency powers law or something. So they're very frustrating. The numbers are climbing, and we're in incipient New York. There's nobody dying in the streets yet, because they don't shut it down soon. Whatever. Okay. So, you have to remind me now, the thing about this is, I said I'm just going to carve the outlines here and not the interior. But, I don't know where John's design will bump up against the outlines. So for me today here, we're going to work from the outside in. I'm going to start with the outside of the rings, clear away. Then I'll start with the groove. There's a double line here for everything. But I can't work on the inside of these yet because I don't know where the line is going to be. that's another thing. It might cross over the outlines too. I know John actually, when he gave me the first sketches the other day, well, we've had 2 or 3 emails back and forth. He sent me some sketches, and both of them, they look good. So I accepted one right away, the other one I asked for some changes, whatever, back and forth, back and forth. And both of them, he did bump over the outlines. One of them, the Baron, that the person was using, bumped over the outlines just at the bottom in the middle. And the other one, the Chopsticks, bumped over the outlines in the bottom right-hand corner. Now, I haven't decided which way to do them yet, and I don't even know if his design is going to come up with what he did on the sketch. But both of them were bottom bumpers. So, as John has reminded me here, keep away from the bottom line at the moment. So work on the 2 sides and top and 2 sides and top. Pizza, he's talking about pizza, okay? You shut. Okay, let's do some quiet carving. This is not going to be spectacularly interesting at all, but it's work that has to be done. I see, today must be the first Monday. That's right, first Monday. So it's garbage on, I think it's the first and third Mondays with the garbage pickup for things like broken glass and non-recyclable stuff and batteries and all that kind of thing. I don't have any at the moment, but that's the garbage today. So what's happening, people put their garbage out, but the pickup is between 8:30 and 9. But on a day like this, when it's interesting stuff, we get the scavengers out there. And sometimes it's like the old guys who collect empty cans and stuff like this. This could be what we're hearing now. It's either somebody putting out garbage or it's one of the scavengers going through to see what looks interesting. In response to requests, I have prepared a show and tell. Before I came downstairs this morning, I went to the shelf upstairs and browsed through. And when I look at those things, I'm trying to think, what have I showed these people before and what haven't I showed before? It's hard to remember, actually. Of course, it could be. So I grabbed a set of prints that I don't think we've seen before, but it is possible that at some point I brought it down. It's going to be towards the end of the show here today. If you can remind me, we do have a show and tell. Which is top, which is bottom. I should know this. I should know this. Yeah, don't touch this one. course, because it's because it's Monday morning now, Cameron will be coming back to life. He works at home these days, but he's been off. He doesn't touch his computer Saturday, Sunday, at least not the shop computer. So. But because it's Monday morning, and there's been lots and lots, tons of email and stuff going on over the weekend, so Cameron must be somewhere just about now, coming back to his computer. I'm faced with a ton of stuff to do. Is he here this morning? Has Cameron checked in? I don't know. Kitaro papers. Cameron was around here, okay. Oh, he's there. Still alive on the weekend. Still alive. You know what I meant. From our point of view. From our point of view, Cameron is down for the weekend. So 125 unread messages. Hey. Any family news, Cameron's hand? All steady as she goes? There was a bit of stuff that's related to what Cameron's doing. Over the past few days, last week, Roseanne, one of our shop girls, is that the right expression? I don't know. One of the girls who works in the shop doing sometimes print parties, sometimes helping in the shop. She's been at Liberty, so she came in one day last week and picked up a bunch of prints from the shop here from the flea market, because the flea market section of our website recently has been ignored quite a bit. The girls put a bunch of Meiji era prints into it a month or so ago. But bit by bit, the more modern things meaning 20th century reproductions and stuff, that section became pretty much empty. So when she came in last week, I asked her to fix that, and she grabbed like 30 or 40 prints. This would have been, I don't know, Thursday or Friday last week, or Wednesday or Thursday. Scanned them all, and then took the data home to work on it. And then it would be, what's today, Monday, so Saturday. She spent Saturday working on it at home, preparing images, uploading them, getting them all ready. And then Saturday evening, she opened up a whole bunch of new prints on the flea market part of our website. So it's on my list of things to do, to make a note about today here this morning. The flea market is starting to come alive again, but with the proviso that a lot of countries now we cannot ship to. The list of countries where we can't ship to is growing and growing and growing. No new kid yet, but coming soon, coming soon. He says the 17th. April baby. My second daughter's birthday is the 19th, April the 19th. My first daughter nearly was an April Fool baby. My first granddaughter is an April Fool baby, and my younger daughter is April 19th. So yeah, lots of clustering here. Oops, I'm not supposed to use the word clustering these days. So you saw what we did here first. I scratched the light line in first and I slightly emphasized it. But I couldn't put the knife in too deeply because it would put too much stress on the line. But once we cut the relief line on the outside, now I can plunge the knife in quite deeply to finish this V. You can see it doesn't stress the retained wood at all. It pops out the outside. Good morning.
これからウェブ作業
はい
します、ね。
準備できた。
ありがとうございます。
液を温めて、
はい、
ちょっと今2.5リットル用意したんですが、大丈夫か足りないかどうかわからない。今お湯の中に左側の方は、新しい液。
はい。
使ってください。今お湯入ってますから、液を溶けるために、液を取ってお湯出して、左の、液を入れてください。で右の方にある液は古いもの、10日前ぐらい使ったものだからあまり使いたくない。見るとクリアですが、だんだん1週間
ちょっと劣化してるかもしれない。
わかんない。だからあまり使いたくない。だから左にあるものが十分と思います。
わかりました。
これどのようなさっきハガキとか話したんですか？
大きいの中くらいのハガキ全部取れるようにします。大ビル版で大きいやつ、中くらいハガキっていうふうに多分私の作品だと取れるんですね。
そう先日エミさんの E メールの中に大ビル錦か大ビル2種類でしょ。今上で錦版、波色2枚取れる、それから大ビル、それから竹長でっかいもの。前使ったものは大ビルと思います。
そう、大ビルだから今回大ビルじゃない。じゃない。
間違いないように。
上で大ビルって書いてありますもんね。この間と同じ。
間にあるもの。錦は足りないと思います。大ビル。
わかりました。
さっき E メールで錦版で。
違う。あれはそのサイズどのサイズを使いたいですかっていうから、私の作品は錦版と中版とハガキが全部取れるように大ビルが欲しいですってことです。
だから錦と本当に関係
じゃない。錦版使わないです。
左にある液を
使います。
ハケは大丈夫でしょ？
大丈夫だと思います。この間と同じなので。ありがとうございます。
This is Shiba-san. I should have asked her to say hello. She is here. You know Shiba-san. This is the Ghost Lady, the Ghost series. The Ghost and the Spider prints. The next one, I can't say in the same series because she's not doing another one in the Ghost series just yet. She's switched to doing the first print in a new series, a kind of historical. I don't know what the title of the series is going to be, but Shinobi series, Shinobi series. And the first one, she's now cut it and proofed it over at Ome, and she is now today going to do the sizing for the paper for the first batch of these to go out into the world. And she's been practicing sizing with me for quite a while now, so she's doing this one by herself, upstairs by herself. She's sizing her own paper, yes. So we spent, I don't know how many times, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. She came to watch me first, then she came and added a couple of bits. We talked about it because she does it with a ninja crouch, remember? I do it with my body moving back and forth, and she does it just with her arm moving back and forth. So I prepared last night the eki, you heard me use the word eki, the extract, the Nikawa glue mixture. I prepared that last night. It's up there waiting for her. It's all warmed up. The bench is ready to go. She's just going to cut some paper and go for it. And the print, I can give a bit of a tease on it. It's Danzo Kato. I think there's a Wikipedia page for the guy. I learned a bunch of new words when doing this. She prepared a story to go along with her print in Japanese, asked Google to translate it for her, so I've helped her put it into normal English for getting it ready. So I learned a lot about this. It's an historical character, quasi-historical character, imaginary character called Danzo Kato, also called Tobi Kato. And he's what common parlance to use the word now ninja, but she's not using the word ninja here. She's using the more classical Japanese word shinobi. If you look it up, shinobi, or look up Danzo Kato, you'll see something about this guy. And what she's done is she's done a single image that contains a bunch of references to episodes from this guy's life. So I guess it's kind of a ninja series that she's starting out with. That she's starting on that. And I saw her test print. I saw the proof, and I'm like, it's great. It's no, nothing. It's fabulous. But I'm like, Shiba-san, do you need like that many gradations? And she says, yes. Do you need that many gradations? Yes. I'm kind of glad I'm not publishing it. Cool that other people here are working on sizing, you know. I know Lei-chan has also been helping with it. She's nowhere near as confident as Shiba-san. Lei-chan is actually competent, but it doesn't show in confidence. And she's still very, very shy and quiet. And she's quietly competent, but you wouldn't know it by looking at her or talking to her. So both of those two are getting knowledgeable about this sizing thing. So we're trying to spread the knowledge around as much as we can here. Okay, now, like it or not, we need some persuading here. There's no way around it. I'm going to have to do a certain amount of persuading here. I can't always avoid it. So, those of you who are on headphones, yeah, Cameron is bringing in some information here. Kato Danzo, good. John too. Hi, hi. Okay, we're not going to be, walloping here. This is not going to be staggeringly loud, but it is going to be, it's going to be tap tap. So I'm going to take the microphone here at the moment. I'm going to move the microphone away from me physically. Excuse me, it's going to get noisy while I touch it perhaps. Can you still hear me? I don't know, I guess so. Microphone testing, okay, okay, okay. The mic is now out of the view of the hammer here. The sneeze, I don't know, whatever, sneeze is a sneeze. I didn't have time to plan. What can I do? Okay, for the moment, I'll leave my volume alone. You guys turn your volume down. And we're going to have some tap, tap, tap. Someone says, how are things going over here? It's the calm before the typhoon. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. 2 weeks from now, it could be New York here, or it could be, we don't know. We just don't know. Okay, here we go. Change glasses. That must be a flea market response. If somebody has been, have I been promoting prints? Sorry about that. Speaking of that. If that's an order from somebody here, thank you. From a country where we can actually ship. Yes, yes, there's obviously going to be confusion here. Absolutely there's going to be confusion. What we're doing, we're not going to be carving this image inside here. I'm preparing a border block for the next set of Patreon chibis. And when John is finished with his design, I will carefully arrange it, paste it down into that empty space, and then carve it there. So I'm sorry, there is confusion here. We will not be today or any day carving this same image. I'm just preparing a borderline chibi block. Careful around the tento. You mean this part? I don't think I have in times gone by cut some off. How's the volume? I should leave the microphones alone, or? Reckless abandon happening here. I'm holding this thing really close to the handle. It's when you hold it back here that you get in trouble. I'm holding it right close to the handle. Excuse me. Which way? Don't know. Am I a figure of parody? Speaking about that, there was a comment on YouTube a few days ago. I guess it's okay to talk about it. There was a comment on YouTube a few days ago that actually really shocked me. And there was a pleasant comment. It wasn't a drive-by. I mean, there were a couple of drive-by comments as well last week, but the comment that shocked me, it wasn't a hostile comment. It was a comment saying, Dave, I like your stuff. I like what you're doing. You're a very nice guy. I've been following you for years. But his point was, be careful. Without, I don't remember the exact words he used, but he felt, I guess, that I was, what's the expression we use? That I was turning into a sort of a swelled head type person. And I was really kind of a bit shocked by this comment. I'm doing interesting work, I think. I like what I'm doing. I think I'm good at it. And when you're talking about your own stuff and showing people how to do it, you're sometimes, wow, look how good I am, look what's going on, all this kind of stuff. But he had felt this was excessive, I guess, and he made a polite comment that, Dave, be careful about this, and dialed it down. I think the exact words he said was, it's better when you're humble, it suits you better, or something like this. And I was really interested to see this, shocked to see this, and interested to see this, because I thought I was doing okay with this balance, Of course I think highly of myself. Inside here it's okay, but I was thinking that it wasn't coming out too much. And yet this polite person made a comment that he thought it was coming out too much. And I have to think about this and go back and think about this quite a lot. This stuff is all opinion. There might be people who say, okay, no, you're okay, or yeah, he's right, or no, you're okay. There will be both ways on this. So it's not a question of right or wrong here. But to me, as long as somebody is thinking this way, then to me that's too much. So for me already, I've got to rethink some of this here, because I have to be careful, I think. Okay, let's see, a bit more off this end, I think. Yeah, it's a balance. Somebody's mentioned the fake harmonies. That's the thing, If you start to get too self-deprecating or too, oh no, nothing, okay, no. It becomes just annoying. And it's really, from me, inside here to see, and then people on the other side of the camera looking in, maybe even years after I said something. And what's the word? The discrepancy between what I think is happening and what they see. It's really, really interesting. So I'm very happy to have had this comment. Okay, this is now going to get a little bit noisy because I've got to whack this thing here. So cover your ears just for like 1 minute here. Okay. We can't go through here yet because we haven't got one side of it. Okay, put away for a while. Thanks for your patience with that. Back to quiet work. Back to the crunch crunch. Actually, I'm going to scope this. Can we? If I work without the scope, no, it's going to be wandering all over the place. Let's try. Let's see what we got here. Okay, what's vivid? It's vivid sound. What is the height difference between the top of the wood and the lowest area at the edge? You mean like here? The plywood we're using here, I think we're sort of, Aoi Yama-san and I, we shoot for 5. We prepare our plywood tops at 5. And we glue them on at that level, but by the time they've been dressed, they're never 5 anymore. So, glasses on, glasses off. What we've got here, look at the whole thing. The core plywood is 15 millimeters. The plywood on the top, look at that, it's exactly 5. It's 5. It's 5. So this is what we're aiming for. So he maybe put a 6 down and we planed it up. So the 5. And I almost never, as in never, ever, ever, get through below that. So even the deepest points of these things, on any of these blocks I'm carving, even when we got big wide areas, I never get through to the plywood underneath. And that goes for this place here. Drop on the floor, don't you? If you may have noticed that when we did the octopus here the other day, I did get through. We're in the plywood here, we're at the plywood here, we're at the plywood in lots of these places. But that's because this is boxwood and we're not using 5 millimeter boxwood. We're using, it's 2 something, 2 point something, not 2.5 but 2 point something. Because if we use thicker boxwood, it has too much strength to bust up. But 2 millimeter boxwood just doesn't have enough strength to pull itself away from here. And that's why I've gone down into the middle plywood here, because it's only 2 something millimeters thick. So, to answer Karen's question, at the very edge here, well, I'm not quite finished yet, but when I'm finished here, what will be left? Let's have a look. What's left at the moment is, well, it's between 1 and 1.5 going along the edge. So I've cut down 3.5 to 4 millimeters below the top surface. No rules, you know. If you go too deep on this stuff, if you go too deep everywhere, then when you're rubbing with your brush, the lower parts are too far down, and your brush bangs against all the lines. Your brush falls into the holes and bangs. If they're too shallow, the brushwork is beautifully easy and smooth. But if it's too shallow and your paper is rough, you will get, impressions from this stuff. Everybody has to find their own level. If it's not deep enough and you're getting impression, down you go. Or get smoother paper. Or reduce the pressure you press on. This doesn't really feel like a good key block, it's a bit too soft and crumbly. I guess it's the age, maybe, I don't know. It's 30 plus years old. I'm going to get close up, I guess. Pull it back. Bring the microphone back, okay. You shouldn't touch it here, excuse me. Oh. Is it on? Is it down? It's full of buttons. You just pick it up and there's no... We're up, are we? It's covered with buttons. The top's got buttons on the side. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buttons along the side, right where you go and pick it up. It seems to be okay, is it? Right. Microphone. Audio. It's a bane of my life, audio. Look at that, that was a cross grain and it really pulled out. You have to be careful here. So I think what I'll do before I peel away that wood, I'm going to incise the line here just a little bit deeper. I think it's already deep enough, but let's just put a bit of insurance here. With that round chisel, when we ran across this thing a minute ago, it pulled away the grain and fractured this wood. But not with this chisel now. I'm working in the same direction. But look at this. The wood is now coming out smooth. And it's because I'm pressing down the top. Top pressure, top pressure. So I'm not scratching across, top pressure. It's like some kind of plain blade. Same for this end. That worked well, so let's just incise a bit more. We're going to show and tell. It's still too early. Let me get around this. I've got another couple of lines to finish here. For the the show and tell, I just ran upstairs a few minutes before the stream started. I remembered that you guys had been asking about stuff, so I ran upstairs to get something. I was thinking, what haven't we seen before on the stream? So anyway, so I grabbed a folder of plastic, that box of prints, but I hope you've seen it or not, I have no idea. It's cool stuff. Visible on the camera here. That was cross grain stuff. This is now with the grain stuff. that's all I can do at the moment on this one here. I think it's a nice use of an hour. So you can see what we've done here now. We have the two registration marks cut. I pasted down what looks like a normal Hansta. We've cut some of the border lines. What I can do next, probably on the next stream or later on, I can now start incising the double inside line, because we can go around that also on the top three of these things. I can start cutting the inner lines. And then after that, once John comes through with the design, I will wash this off, and we will have two flat square pieces, and I will paste the design down into those two flat pieces. Okay, it's 9:12 or so. Let's have a look at some show and tell. Any messages I should be reading here? Is it cold there, or did those last two people miss the memo? It's no, it's sharp this morning. It's perhaps going to be a bit warm this afternoon, but this morning it's sharp. I've got the door open, and I originally opened the back window, but it was too chilly a breeze, so I closed the back window. It's no, it's not all that warm. If I went out now, I would put my little puffy on. Okay, you will wait. Okay, this is not a grand opening, this is nothing just received. I don't know where I got this. Where did I get this? Years and years and years ago, I don't know. It might have been an open auction, it might have been something I saw in a dealer's shop. I don't know. What this is, it's a set of prints. It's not quite a complete set, it's most of a set of prints. And they're woodblock prints, but not as we know them, Jim. They're woodblock prints made in a workshop down in Kyoto many, many years ago. Many as in before the war, I guess. Before the war, 1920s, 1930s, somewhere around there. And these are totally different. Yeah, just a minute. I'm going to be zooming in and zooming out. So hang on, John, keep your shirt on here. Keep your shirt on. Get the overview first. Okay, let's get rid of the street here for a minute. Okay, just a minute. Yeah, these are woodblock prints in the sense that they are pieces of paper with a design that has been rubbed on wood that had pigment rubbed on it, daubed on it. I don't know if you can see. We're going to be zooming in and zooming out and zooming in and zooming out. Looking at the back side here, you can see it where you are. Look at this. You can see the barren striations. This is where the paper has been laid down on something and rubbed like crazy. It's very, very thick paper. It's not the kind of delicate Hosho paper we use. It's more like, well, it's not card, but it is a thick, thick paper. And I think it's actually multi-layered. When you hold it up and look at the light, you can see two different kinds of paper grain running inside it. It's much more like a Western paper than a traditional Japanese paper. And you can see on the back here, there's very little pigment coming through to the back. When you look at one of our own prints, do I have a woodblock print? Yeah. Here, this Dave-chan brought these to me last week. When you look at one of our own woodblock prints, you can see the front and look at the back. Whoa, ho, ho! The pigments have gone deep, richly into the body of the paper. And you can even look at the print from the back. But the Kyoto stuff, no. It's thick, heavy, dense paper, and the pigments are sitting mostly up on top of it. And the pigments they've used, for quite an extent, are opaque. I think John mentioned whatever white pigment, Gofu mixed in here. It's much more of a painterly approach. They're trying to make things that might look more like paintings than woodblock prints. Anyway, what we have here is this. It's a set of, it should be a set of, is it 57 or 58? The chapters of the old book Genji Monogatari. And if you, somebody can link to this, I should have prepared. See these 5 stripes here? That's not just a random bunch of stripes. Every one of these prints has them, but they are all joined at the top and bottom in different ways. This one is a full with a joined, then 2 separate ones. If I just grab another one at random here, the left and right are full. That's it's shining too much. Let's find one that's more visible. Here we are. It's joined, separate, joined. There's 57 or 58 of these things all together. Each one represents 54, okay, what do I know? I don't remember numbers. 54, and each one represents a chapter of the original Genji Monogatari book. And they're called in Japanese Genji Mon. Maybe if you Googled it up, it would be the same thing, Genji Mon. And anybody who knows this stuff looks at this one and says, ah, that's the chapter such and such, and they know instantly the story, what happened. And of course, what we have here is a set of prints, and there's no people here. We're not going to see the young girls, we're not going to see the guy who hunts the girls, we're not going to see any people. We are seeing imagery and plants. This is Suzuki, autumn. So something about this one takes place in autumn and chrysanthemum pattern. And people who know, they know it. So it's a set of prints that's devoted to imagery and patterns from the Genji Monogatari. But look at this. Every single one of these is split left and right, which made me think at first that they were supposed to have been folded and turned into some kind of album form. But they're not separate pictures. They are actually the same picture. This screen is in a room where this is, and it's here, but it comes out now we're outside. They're playing games here. Now, what I want to do is zoom in on some of these things, because these are spectacular. We cannot make work anywhere near this level of refinement. How can we go before it starts to collapse? It's super thick paper, and you can already see the embossment is spectacular because the paper is so thick. And everywhere you look, it's good. I mean, this is a box with a top printed in black, this face printed with a gradation up, and the other face printed with a gradation up. Then there's an opaque pigment pattern in white and another opaque pigment pattern in gold. These guys just did not give up. Look at this. I'm going to have to move this in the light. Look what we've got here. Do you see this? Look at this, look at this, look at this. It's supposed to be a lacquered table or something like this. One angle, you see it like this, and another angle, you see it like this. All right? This is not food. This is not sushi. These are scrolls, of course, whatever. And the book itself, the print inside the print is carefully embossed, carefully printed. The cover of the other book, just whatever. There's 50x of these things. I don't have a complete set. We're just going to cut randomly in here and look at a couple of these. And can you imagine an exhibition of this stuff? I'm just going to cut randomly here, whatever. Honestly, this really isn't my style of stuff that I'm interested in. It's too sparkly and it's too ostentatious. But, as a craftsman who's interested in making woodblock prints, look at this. This is a silver. This one's aluminum powder. Very quiet stuff. It's all very, what's that word? Shibui. Look at the gradations here. How many gradations? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did I miss one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gradations in this area. And look at this thing on top of this little lantern. A gradation from the top, a gradation from the top, and another little tiny gradation in this corner. I mean, what? Each of these leaves has a gradation. And this is hand-carved, hand-printed woodblock printmaking. These are not some boom, boom, boom. The level of work that went into these things, just whatever. These would not have been cheap. We all know the story. Japanese woodblock prints, same price as a cup of noodles, blah, blah, blah. No way. These would have been expensive. I mean, come on, look at this. Did the consumers get this? Did the consumers understand this? I think so. The kind of people who would have bought this would be the people who with a literary interest in the Genji Monogatari. This would have been upscale ladies, absolutely. Upscale ladies who would have bought this. And they would leaf through these things, chant poetry to themselves. This one has a musical theme. There's a fue, a Japanese flute. And then this is a bridge from a koto. This shape is recognizable as part of a koto. So that particular chapter in the Genji story. Of course, I have no idea. I do not remember these things at all. You know how difficult this is? You want to try gradation? You want to try gradation on the dark blue, light blue? How many colors? 1, 2, 2 or 3? It's all there. It's power. You can see the power rubbing. The guy dug in so hard. This one, look at this. It's the flute. It's done as a kimedashi. See what's happening here? I don't know if you can feel it. This is bumped down, and the flute on the front is thus bumped up. I don't know if I can catch the light exactly right so you can see it. No, it's too delicate. But the flute is actually bumped up as a physical object to touch. I should have just shown one each week for the next 54 weeks. That's the show and tell for the year. Lots of karazuri. You can see it into the light here. Show, look, it's embossed because the paper is so thick. Look at the gradations. And they're all rubbed. You can see them. You can see where each block came to an end. You can see the rubbing on the back. And this is not, I'm not being fooled by this. This is not some neat way of offset printing that they did that would imitate woodblock printmaking. This is woodblock printmaking. Every one of those gradations was carved in a piece of wood, then rubbed on, and then rubbed from the back, and the evidence is there. You can see the shapes, and you can see the barren marks. I mean, we were talking earlier in the stream, Dave thinks he's so good and all this crap. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. We're proud of what we're doing, especially in the environment and what we're doing it in. But the idea that any of us here could get a swelled head thinking how special we are when we handle things like this. Yes, pre-war, early Showa, Taisho. If I was just guessing an era, it's Taisho. It could be early Showa. This is a known book, actually. I'm really sorry, I don't know the name of it. This is good. It probably has its own Wikipedia page, this collection of prints. I don't know. I don't remember what it is. I'm sorry. Again, it's not supposed to be a historical lecture. It's just simply look at this, God, beautiful, interesting thing. Page after page after page of it. That's part of the problem too. There's so many of them. It's like, you know, you go to an exhibition, there's some nice stuff on the wall. The first one, you look at it for a while. My God, look at this. Then after a minute, you move down to the next picture. And after a minute, your feet don't even stop moving. You're just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Any one of these would be worthy of study and study and study. And we're talking about having our collection, putting it online or something, but what am I going to do? How am I going to put this online? They all have meanings, of course. There's all of these objects. This is another musical instrument. I forget what it's called. It's you blow in the bottom, you hold it up. The reeds face up. I don't remember the Japanese word for it. Other Asian cultures have a similar one. It's kind of a panpipe thing that you blow into at the side. I don't know how you change the notes. Maybe there's finger holes at the side. And this is a drum, of course. Everything that you see on every one of these things has meaning and symbolism as part of the story. I don't know what this is. It's a piece of folded paper, is it? I don't really know. It looks like a bow tie. But it's a thing that has some meaning. I mean, come on, look at this. It's a screen and an outdoors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gradations, 8 gradations on the little tree outside. How long did that take the guy? And did the consumers get it? Did they think, ah yes, I noticed those gradations, that's nice. And you can see some of these things, they all look so different depending on the way. It's a print you've got to pick up and hold in your hand and look at. I don't remember it, Karen-san. It's like I said, it's a known series. The set has a name, the designer is known, the publishing company is known. I should have, like I said, just before the stream, I just went and grabbed the box from my storeroom there. Our collection is in a very chaotic state of not being very well organized. I'm sorry. It's on the to-do list, of course, to get all these things cataloged and this one here, these cherry blossoms falling, they're done in such dense, thick pigment. These would not be printed, again, the same way we do with rubbing. These would be almost dabbed on. They put onto the wood, and they would be dabbed on at the last stage of this process. And these are bumpy. The individual cherry blossoms falling are actually, I can feel these. It's like Braille. I can feel them with my finger. Well, here we go. What can I say? It just goes on and on and on. There was one specific, I remember, there was one, a really, really dark one. Just flips through these things. What is it? Hang on a second, try and find it. No, I can't remember. There was one specifically I was trying to think of that would be really cool to show. Oh, here, this one. Here we go. Dark and snow. Let's zoom out first. Again, I don't know the chapter. There's a spiderweb. There. Look at that beautiful, beautiful delicacy in this water. Just. Just look at this. Remember, this is totally against the way we do things here in our own printmaking. For us, the white is white paper. This white is daubed on. It's so thick here. Again, I can feel the whiteness. It's daubed on so heavily. It's not printmaking as we know it here, the way we do it. But I'm not such an idiot as to be able to look at it, some other kind of work and appreciate it and enjoy it. And the gradations are done. You know, to make a gradation, we put moisture on the block, a Wizzler pigment, to rub it. And if there's any too much moisture, there's dots. This is done without the slightest trace of moisture on the wood. Vividly. You can see it from where you are, thousands of miles away. These are barren strokes. Okay, I guess we'll leave it there. It's time for me to get on with my next work, getting some paper ready for Octopus test printing. It'll be my job this afternoon. I don't know, if somebody jogs me with a note, I'll try and look up what this is so I can leave a message, or maybe in the next stream I'll let you know what it was that we've been looking at today. I'm sorry, I didn't have enough forethought to get that ready for you. But, okay, thanks gang. Thank you very much for joining in today. What's today? Today is Monday. I won't be back again now till Thursday. There's a huge amount of work on my desk. Of course, Octopus test printing, carving Patron chibis, finishing the cat blocks. I'm trying to arrange our printers. The Tokyo shutdown may or may not be happening at all. We are waiting for it to shut down, and if they do, I may have real trouble keeping our business going, because if our packing ladies, for example, decide they don't want to leave the house to come to work, then I have a real problem. Because we can carve things in isolation, we can print in isolation, we can ship them by the Takibin service, but if there's nobody to do the packing, I'm in trouble. And sort of plan B, plan C, plan D is Dave might do a week here getting sizing and doing printing and getting ready, then I might get a taxi up to Ome, spend 3 or 4 or 5 days packing, getting stuff ready, bring it back here, take it to the local post office. There's all different kinds of plans happening here, but whether we can continue in the short term and then whether we can continue in the long term is still an open question. So far, we're having fun. Talk to you again Thursday. Thanks for dropping in, and I'll have lunch when I'm having lunch later. I'll read through to see all the things that I missed. Thanks for now. Bye for now. See you Thursday. Cameron, let's get Skyping. And there's no point in leaving the outside view up, is there? There's nothing happening. So we'll just sign off here. Bye-bye again. Thanks very much, guys. Bye-bye.